Hey everybody, this is Clark Lunt with Burn Your Boats podcast, and we try and do this as much as possible. We're going to get feedback from listeners that have specific questions about their own specific situations. So we love doing these things because when we're in the podcast and we're doing the episodes, right? Obviously, we have to talk a little bit more high level, and we're not necessarily talking about everyone's specific situation. So today, I'm going to answer a question from Len. Len is in Virginia, and he basically stated that in 2019, unfortunately, his father passed away, and it looks like he left a property in Sarasota, Florida, to him and his brother. Okay, and it's a fairly common occurrence where property gets passed down, and Len and his brother have been running it kind of like a legacy to their father in terms of trying to create wealth through real estate, and it's really, really cool. I love to hear that, and to be able to continue that legacy. We know that his father's probably looking down smiling right now to try and continue to build that. So here was Len's question. He basically had mentioned that he had this property, and like a lot of things, a potential tenant walked over, probably knocked on the door and said, hey, before you do anything, can I just rent it from you as is, right? And that is, in theory, it sounds great because you've got a built-in tenant. They know the situation. You probably don't have to go in and do a lot of the repairs that you're planning on doing, which saves money. Len, I want you to go listen to an episode that we did on March 25th called How Not to Be a Slumlord, okay? And one of the things you'll see is that nobody gets into real estate to become a slumlord, right? It happens very slowly. It's a death of a thousand cuts, right? You want to make sure, go listen to that episode, and I want to make sure that you don't become that person that becomes a slumlord because of deferred maintenance. That wasn't even Len's question, but I saw kind of a red flag that went off in my head is like, uh-oh. So Len, go listen to the March 25th episode on how not to become a slumlord. Now, here's the challenge. Len, it sounds like you had property insurance in 2019 of 2,500. It's now skyrocketed to 12,000 plus dollars, which is insanity, right? So here are a few things that you can do, and I would recommend. Is number one, I would immediately go and get a 4-point inspection. A 4-point inspection it checks the four major mechanicals of the property: roof, air conditioner, plumbing, electrical, right? So if you can get a property to pass a 4-point inspection, typically the insurance company is going to give you a better rate for that. Now, if it may pop up things that need to be replaced or upgraded, right? And usually they look at the AC and the roof. Another thing you can do is if you do need to replace the roof, which we recommend doing if it's on its last legs, just go ahead and replace it. Again, you're reinvesting back into the property. So don't look at it like an expense. Look at it like a savings account that you're investing in. But for an extra like $500 to $1,000, get hurricane clips, and that will help even save it further. Okay. Next thing too is that once you get the 4-point, I call it smile and dial. Go on every Facebook group in Sarasota and type in real estate, investor Facebook groups, and go on those groups and say, guys, I've got a problem with insurance. It's ridiculously high. Who should I go to, right? And you're going to get a bunch of investors who are going to say, call my agent. I was in the same predicament, and you should be able to get good referrals to be able to compare and contrast the best rates. So make sure you can pass a 4-point inspection. Make sure that if you do need to replace things, now is the time to do it anyways. Then you can go and get better rates, okay? So last thing is that you mentioned you wanted to continue this journey kind of in honor of your father, which I love. I'm sure he'd be very happy. Make sure going forward that you stay out of flood zones. Sarasota is right next to the water. So try and stay in an X flood zone so you don't have to pay flood insurance. You're not going to get a dime more of rent because you're in a flood zone. Okay, tenants don't care that you have two insurance policies or one. I would recommend block construction, and you may want to look at new construction as well too, which is going to keep your insurance well below what you're paying right now. So those are just a few things to look at. So in conclusion, go listen to that episode to make sure that you are not becoming a slumlord, and that's going to dive deep into how you keep the rents higher, which then gives you additional income to be able to take care of expenses as they go up. And also make sure that you're shopping it. So smile and dial, reach out to other investors that have been in your place. The easiest way is to go to Facebook groups. Everyone there is usually very helpful, and that'll give you some ideas. And then going forward, you want to make sure that you are looking at concrete block, looking in non-flood zones, and you always want to be looking at the rents to make sure that you're keeping up within range to market rent, or it's going to put you in a really tough position. So we really appreciate you listening. I hope this gave you a piece or two of a takeaway to be able to go and improve your situation and give you confidence to be able to go and buy that next property. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Do you have a question for Clark and David? Now's your chance to ask. Submit your inquiries at burnyourboatswealth.com. All answers are the opinions of the hosts. Content in Burn Your Boats podcast is for entertainment purposes only and is not legal or financial advice. Please review our legal disclaimer at burnyourboatswealth.com.